What's up, everyone? Sensor, we've got an amazing guest today. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but we're going to talk about overcoming adversity. I've got a great guest that has a really cool background story to share. He's actually here in my neck of the woods, and so we've got not quite our East Coast West Coast showdown, because the only person we have on the East Coast today is the Evil Bald Ninja, which is here, and he's bald as always. We've got the Junior Grandmasters here, so the full house today. This is from recording this. Greg has been up since 2 a.m., so I assume he'll be loopy, semi-drunk, and or fall asleep during the show, and we're all three. So it's going to be a fun one. So before
actually, when it comes to being drunk, that would be phenomenal. I am drinking water. Thank you very much, motherfucker. But yes, I am drinking clear liquids. Unlike yourself. Are you drinking coffee?
I'm pretty sure vodka and gin are both problem here.
Oh, you're drinking gin? Gene, did you get gin?
What? Why do you think I have two identical black coffee?
Oh,
water.
I like that.
You never know what the other one is.
That's true.
If you blow on the coffee cup during your Zoom meeting, people will think that wine is water.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Eric, that's a really funny thing. My girlfriend and I do what we call wine walks, and we do disposable cups. And we decided that that a whole bottle of wine can fit in each one of the cups. So you have a half and half, and everyone thinks you're just drinking your coffee, but no. It's an adult.
So you fall on your face in front of them. That's then they know you're not drinking coffee.
Well, then there's a problem. That's overindulgence.
I wonder what percentage of any given beverages at any time have concealed alcohol in them, of just people in the neighborhood, be at work, what general, how many cups is an interesting thing to think about.
Dude, you got to guarantee. I go to the dog park every morning. I guarantee you, everybody up there has coffee plus whiskey or bourbon or something in those coffee cups, because they are way
if I lived
too
anywhere
perky.
near San Francisco, I'd be drinking heavily daily.
Nah.
All right.
My life. All right. So let's get back down to the good part of the show.
Exactly. So Greg is here, Gene is here. Eric, officially welcome to the show. Let's start off with a little bit, just to give us kind of the 60-second bio, who you are. I've told everybody where you are. So just basically who you are, what you do, and when you run into somebody that's kind of in real estate, how do you describe what every day?
Sure. Me on, really appreciate it. I'm here in San Diego. I grew up on the East Coast in New Jersey, moved to San Diego when I was 14. And when I was 18 in high school, I started a summer job selling Cutco knives. Fast forward 15 years later, I'm now the area director for Southern California. I've sold $3 million worth of Cutco. And what our team, the Sharp Retention team, does specialize in helping agents and lenders brand themselves for their gifting system. Really what that means is we help you say thank you while keeping you top of mind at the same time.
Right.
And so,
yes, so literally the knife that you gave me when we hung out last time, it's sitting on my counter right now.
And to get the specifics on the what in front of you, some of you are wondering, hey, why is there a knife guy at my real estate? First of all, it's going to be a great day when the knife guy shows up to your real estate meeting. But what we really do is we custom make your tagline, and it's a brand of knives called Cutco, which Matt, you said you right? Greg, do you guys own any Cutco knives in your house?
Dude, I have probably 15 Cutcos. I mean, that's really not a joke. I mean, I have one right behind me. I was going to go and grab it, but it's right there.
Yeah, keep a high button on the desk.
Dude, those things, I have several cut marks on my hands, which you guys can't see right now. They all came from Cutco. Those things are sharp as shit. Like, I have to put a glove on to cut bread.
Band-aids are sold separately.
Terrible.
But no, Gene, I know what Gene's laughing about. It's because I have a hype button on my desk.
Oh, was that you? I thought that was Greg. Oh my God, I thought that was
That's not me.
That's for people who own Cutco.
So real quick, I want to do a couple things here, right? And I want to talk to Eric for a second. I think, Matt, he wears gloves when he cuts, and he wears a helmet when he walks around the dog park. Like I'd love to see a picture of this.
Hey, those cutting
to
gloves are real, man. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. People like have marketed that. There's a real.
It is.
No offense. I don't know how to handle a tool.
So
Eric,
not handling Eric, tools is a big problem.
Well, it's not the tools. I think we would go back to what we just talked about. What's in the cup that you're drinking for real is where a lot of those injuries might be coming from.
Right. All right. So, for anyone who's wondering in the audience, so Cutco has produced some really high level people, because I mean you're basically getting into super like really good sales training very early on, which is Eric what you got into, and so they've produced like Cutco's produced Hal Elrod, John Vroman. And there's other names that I'm forgetting. So help me out, Eric. There's a couple of other really high-level Cutco people that went on to write best-selling books, start big charities, et cetera, et cetera. Who am I forgetting?
Eric Gillman. I'm just kidding. Hal Elrod's a good friend, and I mentored with him for a while. But also John Ruhlin. He
John
wrote
Ruhlin.
Giftology.
Okay. Yep.
So he wrote Giftology, which is a book all about gift. He's the #1 Cutco representative of all time. He's still active. John Israel, a lot of Johns. We're big John business.
Yeah, big on John.
John I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the project. And really great book. He's the same guy has now gone on to be a TEDx speaker and author. And then I joke, but I'm also an author and I'm starting a nonprofit with some friends who are working in the Cutco community. I'm sure we'll get to that. But yeah, so lots of high caliber people coming from the community, and it goes back to the training and then stick to itness, right? That old we just stick to it for that amount of time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the marathon story, because this is about 2/3 the way I think into your book, so people get a kick out of it. But let's talk about the marathon story. What the hell happened? How did you end up running and then almost missing your marathon here in San Diego?
Totally, man. Great question. And I say that because of all the stories I have or things in my book about or experiences that have got me. That's the one story that I'm actually going to be highlighting in my message, a bicycle trip across country. So just to fill you in, I am planning on riding a bicycle. Greg, you're going to love it. San Diego. Yep.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm leaving in 7 weeks. I've been planning it for like 6 years. It's all for my nonprofit, so I run a nonprofit as well.
Holy crap.
But I'll check out. Was
the marathon.
Right, the story, right. And so that's the point of what I was getting at. It's the story that I'll share, and I won't go into all the details of it. But so I grew up. The book is about making small changes over a long period of time that adds up to life. And so when I lived in New Jersey, pizza was my favorite food. It still is, and so is what I look like as a teenager.
You're a handsome man.
Sex. I believe
right.
so.
Super sexy.
I know I am. I know I was. It's just Anywho, I wrote the book to help young people through I made small changes over a long period of time. So many people asked me what had changed, and I've come from a place in life. I believe that if you do something that other people struggle with, then it's your social and moral responsibility to turn around and help the people behind you who are still struggling with that. So I didn't write. I'm a #1 top-selling author, or to make millions of dollars off of my. It's because I know that there's other super obese, depressed, suicidal teenagers out there going through trouble having behavioral. Them. So the story, though, yeah.
Eric, let me back you up a little bit really quickly on that one. So you were an overweight, suicidal teenager. Is that what I just heard?
Yeah.
So
depressed.
Help me understand how you got out of that mindset, because people are so messed up right now mentally.
Yeah.
How did you get out of that mindset, and how did you have the fortitude to write a book about something that can help other people?
Sure. So, and Matt, don't let me forget about the story, because it's good. But
I'll bring you back.
Of these things, of these things. So that's what it was. It was small changes. So there was no big aha moment for me. There was no big like all of a sudden, bam, and then my life changed. And next thing you know, I had abs and a hot girlfriend. Like it was small little things over a long period. You look up and you're just grinding and grinding and grinding and doing what you know is going to be the right thing. But so anywho, to talk to like what people right now who are really going through it is I always say think big, act small. People way too big. They think big and they try and act big and they fail fast. And I have. And so the story of the marathon relates to just failing forward, but just embrace that. And people, what's the quote? I always mess this up to be ready for that. But it's like you overestimate what you can do in a year and you underestimate what you can do in a week. Like chunk it up and make
10 years. Yeah.
And so like it just started with like I just personally and like I was just sick and tired of being so sick and tired that there was a route, and I was 14 years old looking out my 4th floor bedroom window wondering if I landed on my head, if that could be enough. And
really
just other kids out there thinking just crazy shit like that. And not just kids, adults too. And this is still something. Mental health is everything's all good now and perfect. Like it's something you continue to go through on all platforms, physical health, mental health. And that's what I'm just trying. We're all, as you say, Greg, we're all going through it. The wild, crazy years we've been through, is crazy. So it's just focusing on what can I do today, right? So like I have my main affirmation here, goes all the way back from Tony Robbins, but it's I am capable of anything because I'm in control of my habits and fucking rock. And it's just what can you do? You're in control of what happens here. You control what goes in here. You control what to touch, and you control what these can see. That's it, man. And the world will have you think that you can control otherwise, but you can't. So, but you can just change your own life through those little things.
Dude, I love that. I do a saying every single day that I'm handsome, sexy, perfect body, everything else. I tell myself that every single day. I tell myself that I'm going to have an amazing day every single day. And I get up and I believe it. The Navy SEALs have a rule called a 3-foot rule, which I think, Eric, what you're going back to is that when they're in training for rock climbing, literally, only thing they can control is within 3 feet. So, get in with your realm and just control what's in your ability. Everything else is going to come to fruition. I mean, you're going to have issues, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days. But the thing is that, if you can say, today I'm not going to smoke weed, or I'm not going to have that cheeseburger, or for Matt, I'm not going to have that cup of coffee because that's bad liver. Gene, it's not that glass of wine. But
Gene's all about the beer. Come on.
Well,
Eric, let's talk a little bit about why people fail when they go big, right? So you talk about think big, but act small, which I 100% agree with. That's made like that. It's made a huge difference in my life. But it's because we all try the first thing first, which is we think big and then we act big and then we fail big. Why is that so common? Just the tendency to, when you do try to take big action, obviously the motivation is behind you. You feel like you've got the wind in your sails and all that stuff, but then you end up failing. What was that like for you? What were some of the things that you noticed where you were trying that approach and it wasn't working for you? Why do you think it wasn't working for you?
Yeah, I think and this is a pessimistic kind of point, but it's like so you're only judged off of my success in Cutco and fitness and health. It's just to say success is built on the mountains of small failures that got you there. So it's viewed as this great, like you like on a bike ride you can do 60 miles, but it's still a failure if you don't get to 100 or do something bigger. But I think it's more about just embracing the process and just knowing that failure is, and I don't mean to sound so negative, like everything in my life, but what I mean to say is like that's what got me here today. Like, if you get not okay with it's not gonna work, it's failed, like, then it's just not gonna, like, you got to be okay with that process. And it's just problems. And like you said, Greg, like, you wake up, you're excited, things happen. Like, people think I just pop out of bed, like, oh, let's get the day started, and everything goes great. But it's just shit storm after shit storm of things. It's just, and I think to sum everything up, Rocky Bell, not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's thing is done. That's it. And it's just, I know that's to hear sometimes, because I'm coming from in like a winning position, because I put myself out there so many times. I've swallowed so many fucking frogs in my throat. I've cried in my car so many times. I've wanted to quit more times than people have ever even attempted to do anything. Broken, damaged, told I fucking can't do it anymore, but you just do it anyway. And it's just, I think that's a unique spirit, but I think we're trying to show about taking a big thing and making it a small thing, and then thing every day. That's it. It's nothing magic here.
Dude, I'm
Eric, so
100% behind you on that one. I mean, I've gone down to my lowest point. Yeah, I went down to $2.38 in my bank account. Then my other low point was $35 in my bank account.
I was going to say, I've heard that one. I hadn't heard the $2.38. I thought maybe this was a fishing story where the fish gets bigger every year. Like, I feel if we're still doing the show 20 years from now, it'd be, I was down to negative $130 in my bank account.
I owed $20,000, and they were at my door.
Exactly. He broke my knees. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair for a week. Yeah.
This is why I love Matt. He's such an he just blows things out of proportion. I'm trying to tell a real story here to help people, and you're just fucking me up.
No, I got you.
Oh my God.
I feel you.
No, but the real thing is like down to $2.38 in your bank account, and you're like, I'm a grown ass fucking man, and this is where I am. It will burn you so hard that you will work beyond measures, like 7 days a week, 15, 18 hours a day. I mean, it is insane. So I love where you're coming from with this.
A great book. One of the best is The Power of Broke, Damon John. Incredible book. He's got The Power of Broke, and he's got another one too, The Power of something else. But The Power of Broke, I read it, and we don't have to go into all the details of it, but we all probably know building a business. I went broke at one point myself. Similar scenario. I had literally no cash, maxed out credit cards, and things. It was that point where things were just about to turn around, and then they luckily did. But anyway, The Power of Broke. So I cried a lot during that book, but it was we pulled through.
Me too, man. Trust me.
So,
but the good thing is that Matt looks like Adam Levine, so he never has to worry about being broke. He can just go out there and sell his body. I mean, it's really
he works hard. Hey,
he can make his money back.
It's hard for that money, all right? He does those things.
Just gonna start a Maroon 5 tribute band, tour the world. All right.
Yeah. Let me tell this race story, because I think it relates to what we were just talking about, like breaking things down, and also maybe like loops into how people run businesses too. But and again, long story short here, I lost weight through making small changes over time. When I was in 7th grade, a gym teacher, I wasn't able to complete the mile. So they told me they marked me out as NA, which is not able. And so I literally, that didn't run for like 10 years. That was my mindset. I'm just not a runner. Fast forward 10 years later, I was actually at a Cutco conference in Miami. Which is interesting because this is the start point of the ride. We'll come back to it. A friend of mine challenged me to run a half marathon. I'd never done it before. We ran like 3 miles. I trained, but I didn't know what I was doing. But, in the first half marathon, yep, I'm ready. Get there, about 2 months of training. And I read the night before. The race starts. It's the La Jolla Half Marathon. It starts in the Del at 8:15. So I had to be there at 6:45, leave my house 6:15, bags packed, ready to go. When you wake up in the morning and you open much light in the room for what time it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Yes.
And so remember, the race starts at 8:15, and it's but you got to be there early. Anyway, I'm freaking out. Call my dad. I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, just go, man. And so I drove from Pacific Beach to Del Mar, and it's a 22-minute drive, and I made it in 9 minutes. And
Nice.
yeah, it was wild.
Thank God for the lack of police presence on the 5. Gotta love it.
It was yeah, I made it.
It's a danger to all of human society. So you make
Average
it to
speed 110.
Fairgrounds. Okay.
I literally drifted to the parking lot, and everyone's gone. Everyone's gone except 4 guys taking down the sound equipment, like all the big thing. And so I'm like, where's everyone? And he's like, they left 30 minutes ago. And so it's kind of like a defining moment, right? Yeah, it's 30 minutes. I'm 30 minutes late. Like it's 8:40, and 8:30. Anywho, they're gone. Like 20 minutes, they're gone. And it was like a defining moment of like, well, I'd done all this training and built this thing up, and I look up at him and I'm like, which way did they go? And he pointed, and I did like a 1-2 stretch, and I took off. I running, man. So I ran the first half of the marathon by myself until I finally like caught up to the woman in last place. And I remember like I see her. I'm like, I'm not gonna be last. And so I literally yelled that out. And like, there's all the fat walking people in the back. And like I'm literally darting through people from the back, and they're like walking, like, who is that guy? And I'm like, I overslept. Excuse me, get out of my way. And anyway, I finished that race, and it was just I didn't get an official time or anything, right? And it's about finishing what you said you were gonna do when you said you were gonna do it. And because I finished that race, another half marathon the next weekend, I've got complete time, and that a marathon, and then a half Ironman, and other several races. And I constantly think about that of just go, just go, just do the thing you're supposed to be doing at the time you're supposed to be doing it. And I see it's that lack of action, right? That lack of just accepting failing forward. People up in health and then in business as well, they're just like, oh, I can't, it's too complicated. They overthink it when it's just like, just do the thing, figure it out on your way down. So yeah, that was the story of the race.
Gene,
I like what you said about failure.
I'm sorry, Matt. I apologize. Go ahead.
It's all right. I was just going to say, I like what you said about failure, Eric, because I think that's a big part of why people don't get into action. Is you mentioned that like when you're thinking big and then you act big, if you set out to do a 100-mile bike ride and you only ride 60 miles, failure. If you ride 55 and you ride 60, it's a success. So people get themselves into trouble when they set the bar so high right off the bat that virtually anything they do is a failure. So it's like, well, how do you get yourself motivated to keep going out there when you've already condemned yourself to failure by your own set? And I think when you talk about making small changes, that's the key. Is you set the bar low enough to where you get a success, and then you build on that and you raise the bar a little bit, and you keep on, like, you're building on top of success, rather than going out there and going, hey, like, whatever I do today is not going to be enough. I'm still going to leave the gym. I'm still going to leave the bike. I'm still going to leave the business and feel like a failure today. Like we do that to ourselves. Like, we're the ones that set those expectations meet, and then we expect ourselves to like get up in the morning with motivation. Like, that's just not how things work. So I think that to me, that like that whole message of make big changes by making small permanent changes that last over time is a message, because it's changed my life. I know it like when people actually put it into practice, it changes their life, because you're not trying to just go from failure to failure like that. You're always going to fail, but if you set the expectations out of whack with what you can actually do, all you're doing is just setting yourself up to fail, and that will zap your motivation immediately. Like, it's a wonder that anybody hangs in past January 5th and still works out at all. Because of all those same dynamics. So if there's anything that I hope the audience takes away from that, it's like you committed to you didn't commit to an Ironman, right off the bat. You didn't commit to a marathon. You committed to a half marathon. That's something that's you felt like was within reach. You took action every day. You made the changes to your life so that you could continue to train. And then when you had that first big test, yeah, you failed it a little bit by your own standards, but then you're like, okay, but that doesn't mean I have to like not run the race today. Let's still run it. I may not get an official time, but in your mind, you get done with that race, you're like, yeah, I didn't get an official time, but man, I overcame adversity. That's a success, which then fuels you to go run the half marathon the next weekend. Like you're building success on top of success. So, yeah, that's what I hope the audience takes away from it, is that example of don't set the eye that you immediately right out of the gate and then zap your own motivation. Build on like success on top of success. That builds motivation, it builds confidence, and it actually sets you up for bigger things. So anyway,
well, Matt, you
that's the
actually
point
bring
I
a
wanted to
good
make
point.
real quick.
You make a great point there. And I'm going to get Eric and Gene to weigh in on this, because about 3+ years ago, my girlfriend looks at me and goes, "Can you even run a quarter mile?" And I'm like, shit, I don't know if I can. I'll go to the gym and I'll try it. So I ran a quarter mile, and then I did a half mile, then I did a mile. And yeah, then we were doing, not Tough Mudder, but we were doing Spartan. And one day, we ended up doing 7.7 mile on just in San Francisco. So imagine up on that one. And so to Max and Eric's point, it's small bites. Cliche is all shit, but how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So how do you get into your business? How do you get into physical fitness? How do you do any of this stuff? It's step by step. It cannot be done. You cannot, walk out and I'm not judging. This is just an analogy. If you're 350 pounds like Matt's kids, and they want to go for a jog, and they can't run, they can't go for a 10-mile run. You have to build up to that, and that's the same thing in business. So, Gene, when you're doing your workouts, how'd you start?
No, I'm restarting, right? You're saying a good thing. I sort of taken off since Thanksgiving, and guess what happened? I started to eat like crap, and I gained weight, and I feel like shit, right? And so I was talking to my trainer.
You look handsome.
Oh, thanks, buddy. That's why I wear the black, so you can't tell. So I was talking to my trainer, and she says to me, just get in here with me. Just get in. Let's start somewhere. Because, like, in my mind, I go like this. All right, I'm up 25 pounds, right? I need to lose it. So I got to go to the gym 5 days a week. I have to run 4 miles a day. I have to cut out all alcohol. I got to eat 5 times a day as opposed to the twice I am now. No more cheesesteaks, no more pizza, no more carbs.
What?
Well, this is what you think, right? In order to get where you got to go, you got to cut everything. And right now, this is not eating the elephant. This is going, I'm trying to consume the elephant in one shot to get where I need to go. And she said to me, listen, let's just do one thing. Just show up this week 5 times. Don't worry about the carbs. Don't worry about the alcohol. Next week, now we're in a groove. Next week, you come in, and maybe we add something else to it. And I was like, words of wisdom. Easy to talk about, difficult to do. So guess what? I'll be there today, 5th time this week. And actually, I've cut my diet back, too. So you really got to, if I spun the camera around and you saw my office is a storage room for everything that my kids and my wife owns. During the holidays, everything comes in. And I look at it and I go, this is overwhelming. I'll never get it done. Except what I've been doing is taking one little piece out each day, right? And I know what's going to take me 4 months, but after the 4 months, guess what? I'm going to have a wide open office because I wouldn't do it in one day. So I might as well do a little here and there just to get a little bit better. I think it's a great example.
Yep. Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, speaking of the workout thing, I was talking to Hank Avink a few weeks back, and we made an analogy to this with working out. I said, look, if you were trying to help somebody lose weight and you wanted to get into the gym, if you were a smart, ask yourself is, how do I make sure that this person is still going to the gym a year from now? That's the first trainer. How do I make sure they're still in the gym a year from now? I'm like, nobody thinks like that. Personal trainers don't think like that. People who want to lose weight, people who want to make that. Nobody thinks like that. How can I still make sure I'm doing this a year from now, as opposed to just get in there, set big goals, and flame out in 2 weeks? That's what most people do. So yeah, that's I think Gene, your trainer is being extremely.
Yep.
Because that's how most human beings operate. Every once in a while, and Eric, you probably had these experiences where every once in a while you can set a big goal, and you just, for whatever reason, that one you hit it. It's like, great, that's awesome. That's not most of the time. Like sometimes you can chew and then you just somehow figure out a way through it, but it's not all the time.
It hasn't
That's
happened
interesting.
for me. How that go?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, it hasn't
it's like
happened for you
it's
yet.
rare. I keep doing it. I keep doing that though. Like no, I've very rarely ever hit like a
So the one time that I can think of that really comes to mind for me. Yeah. The one thing that comes to mind for me is when I was in my 20s, I was like overweight. I didn't let it get too far out of control, but I always ate fast food. I'd have a bowl of ice cream at night. I drank soda like it was going out of style. It was like I might as well have been hooked up intravenously to a 3 liter of Dr. Pepper. So I'm in my mid 20s and I'd started work, and I'm just like, man, I've got to cut the soda out. And so I went a couple of days and I'm like, I wonder if I can keep this going. That's basically the last time.
Yeah,
Like I have no idea why that time it stuck. It just stuck, right? I have no idea, but that time it stuck. The other times I had tried, right? There's going to be times like that, and unfortunately, sometimes that feeds the delusion that, oh, that's the way it should be. I should just set a huge goal, bite off way more than I can chew, and 1 out of 100 times it works, that means that's the right thing. It's like, no, let's look at the 99 times when it didn't work and maybe adjust those and try something different. I did with the soda is I found something that was a halfway decent substitute. It was like this kind of like sweetened iced tea. So I started drinking that instead of soda, wean myself off of that sweetened iced tea to the point where I basically only drink water, and now water and tea and stuff like that and coffee.
Dude, I thought you were
Yeah, it
gonna
was
say
just like
crack.
for whatever reason that worked. Did you crack?
I thought
Listen,
you were
that's
just
soda
gonna
is
yourself
almost
off
just as
with crack.
bad.
Oh,
Soda's almost as bad.
Yeah,
they're pretty much the same thing. But
Yeah, exactly.
Eric's sitting on the show going like, what the shit am I doing on this show? Like these people are
I love
fucking
it, man.
lunatics.
No, it's good. I like how it's like we start with knives and business, and as it is my passion to get to health and fitness, and it's because it is one and the same. You know, it's talking about like to loop it in again with business. Like people, we are in the energy business. No matter if you're selling homes or knives or cars or boats, a sale is a transfer of enthusiasm from one person to the next.
Yep.
I question all the time, like, dude, you're always so high energy, you're so positive, and it's like it's not a fucking accident, man. I have systems in place, meaning like preparing certain foods and like drinking mostly water, and you know, they're gonna put you in that prime state. But I just touched on something, Gene, that I think is relevant in fitness and in life and business, but I think it's so undervalued, which is consistency. And it's one of the biggest flaws I see both again health and again in real estate or business, but especially real estate. You know, we hear like, oh, I took 2 years off and I'm just getting it going again, or hey, it's November 15th, so I'm really slumping down, getting hunkered in for the holidays. Like, bitch, like Thanksgiving's one day and Christmas is one day. Let's go. Like, we go to the end of the year. Like, the year ends on the 29th at the earliest. Like, take a day or two. But but the momentum people, and so that's one of the things I credit with like my success in Cutco. So I've always set these massive goals, and it's funny. It's kind of funny talking about fitness board selling knives. I have never once hit an annual goal of mine, not one time. But on that note, every single year I've been working, I've never had a year that wasn't better than the last. I've grown every single year for 15 years, on average of 12%. So it's just that, and the reason I get what is that? And I'm like, it's consistency. I'm not the best. I'm not the like smoothest salesperson. I'm good. I know I'm knowledgeable. I know my product. But the thing that I see with myself with health, and then again relating to business with Cutco, is like I used to make 20 phone calls a day every day for 4 years straight, and that was all that kept my business alive. That's it. It's really simple. People, again, we're overthinking it. It's like, oh, I have to do this. I got to make 1,000 contacts this week. I heard someone, and I won't say, a new agent who's on a team, and they have to make 1,000 contacts their first week. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You're always going to have a big explosion or whatever. But like, how many people are going to make that 1,000? Say 100 people out of that. How many people are going to make those 1,000 calls? Versus if you have 100 people and like, yo, every day, 20 phone calls a day, or you're fine. Like, they're all going to hit it.
Yeah, they'll hit it.
But then the difference is and I used to promote this in Cutco programs or trainings. It's like, who wants to sell $100,000 of Cutco like for the year? You want to know the secret? Write this down. It's 20 phone calls a day, and every day for 365 days straight. 20 phone calls a day. At Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, your birthday, Kwanzaa, all of them. 20 phone calls a day. It doesn't matter. I wear a bracelet that says no excuses. There's a whole other story behind that that's in the book. I don't really have much patience for people's excuses, but because I have them too, and I don't have enough time to. Yeah, are you fucking me off? You're like, yeah, fuck your excuses too.
No. I'm not flipping you off. I'm saying the same thing. I say that I wear it says do what's required, and I read that thing every single day. So I'm with you.
Do the thing, man. Just do the thing you know you're supposed to do at the time you're supposed to do it. Like, it's really not that complicated, but people, that's where the excuses creep in and whatnot.
So the funny thing about everything that you're talking about, Eric, is that I've done over 600,000 cold calls myself personally in my 22 years of business, and I would do 500 to 750 phone calls a day, and people would look at me like I'm crazy, and I did 1,133 calls, but my highest call rate of any day. I went home and watched the paint dry because my brain had melted. So with what you're saying with the numbers, you do, was it 20 calls a day? Is that was the number?
That's what
right?
I was doing. That was when I was in college and selling Cutco. Yeah, but that was the basic of it. But there's the compounding interest effect to that.
Mm-hmm.
The building ground.
Yeah, it really does.
Good. How we doing on time? Because if we did talk real estate uncensored podcasts.
No, we won't have time to get into
we're-
that. Like we're talking about stuff that they need to know. Let's talk about where people can get your book with you.
Love it, man. So the book is available on Amazon. It's easiest to search my name, which is Eric Gillman with 2 L's. And it's got the title, is The Power to Change. And all of our gift stuff can be available too. It's at Sharp, SHARP, Retention, RETENTI. So if you want to get more information about specifically how we help realtors, lenders, business owners brand forever, happy to reach out to me. My phone number is 858-255-42. That's the direct line. Get a meeting time to get set up a meeting to answer any questions. If you decide to place an order in the future and you mention this podcast, I'll buy you a knife for your own home in addition to your quantity discounts and such. We got a couple of colors and everything here. But yeah, happy to go into detail on that.
Nice.
Eric at my email, Eric, ERIC, at sharpretention.com. And then the last thing is the nonprofit that I'm doing is Eric Rides for Hope. So Greg, Gene, I'll
what's
send
the
you
charity
the
for?
book and everything. So I built a medical clinic in Haiti. So I'm on the board of directors for Angel Wings International. So like this building, we built this thing from the ground up. It was when we showed up, this is an unedited copy. It was just a slap.
Wow.
But anywho, my long story short, my close friend Andy Jean, Hall of Fame guy, he's a Haitian gentleman. After the 10 came up with this idea to build this medical clinic. He and over 150 people. We raised $1.4 million. We took 7 trips to Haiti and built this building. Opened it on the 7-year anniversary of the earthquake. And so 2017. And then I've done multiple fundraising projects. It was about the marathon thing, right? That led to the first Hope event. Run for Hope. So I ran the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon. This is Eric Rides for Hope. That was Eric Runs for Hope. There was Eric Fights for Hope. I did a match with my best friend. That was super fun. We raised $1,200 in one night. It was great. In hindsight, I totally should have just donated $1,200. But we found out who would win in a fight. I'm the champ. About it unless I won. Anywho, and this is turned into, that was in 2018, and then this is Eric Rides for Hope. So I'll be leaving.
So the proceeds are going to Angel Wings for that.
100% of everything raised for the Ride for Hope clinic. So the ride itself is 100% self-funded. That's the Cutco opportunity. And yeah, so it's Eric Rides for the website, all of it. And I'm hot news, and this is probably going to be too late than this. Just found out this morning. I am going to be on the news tomorrow.
Oh, sweet.
It's my first news appearance. So I just got the call like
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Before, and I've been, and man, just people, oh, you got on the news. What did you do? Just call them one time, and like it, goes back 5 emails ago, and I just had to contact different people, and yeah, it's that failing forward type mentality. But I was getting. I think I got them all. Like Instagram phone numbers. Negative. I like long walks on the beach. I'm a Libra.
And what's your favorite color? I mean, we have to get that one.
Orange.
Yeah, that's right. If the San Diego ladies want to connect on Instagram, Eric Rides for Hope.
Yes, send me a DM. I'll open it in front of my girlfriend because I'm not gonna hide anything. She'll see it there. And then
oh, she will kick your ass if you hide it. Holy shit!
She's cool. She's. Hey, shout out to my amazing Instagram girlfriend. I'm the Instagram model in our relationship, and I make her take a picture for the ride. It's all for charity. She owns her own nonprofit too, but everything is Eric Rides for Hope. So she's always like taking the promo, being the hype person. So I'm the Instagram girlfriend in our relationship.
Hey, everybody has a role in life, and you have found yours. Exactly. Thank God you're not visible and nobody can find you anywhere. My gosh. I mean,
try to be out there and make it easy.
You are awesome. You are awesome, man. I really.
At the end of the day, EricGillman.com. So registered. If you want to see a throwback to what it's 6 years old, go do yourself a favor. Browse through EricGillman.com. It's not like a weird. That's like a weird plug or anything. It's like, oh, that was my previous life. Anyway,
going back in the internet way back machine. Yeah. All right, Gene, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Yes, sir. Well, listen, I'm Matt. I got to keep going with what I've been working on because it seems to be working. I'm still getting phone calls. So don't call me. I'm way too busy. I don't really do anything except eat pizza during the day. I'm not your guy. So the end.
That's right.
Why do you always do that?
It's working. It works. People call me. They go, I know you said not to call you.
So also don't reach out to Greg because after all, why would you want to be in real estate and make passive income, right? And start to build a financial future that doesn't require you to sell more and more homes to make more money? I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want to just stay in the rat race of real estate? So definitely don't reach out to Greg, and definitely don't use his actual phone number 925-915-1978 because you should definitely not text him, and definitely not set up a time to talk to Greg because no one in the right mind would want to talk to Greg about how to make passive real estate or learn more about RedX, which is the prospecting system that Greg uses. So when you talk about making the phone calls that will make you money, nobody wants to talk about to Greg about that. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's it's a horrible idea. I will never pick up my phone when it rings. I don't pay my bills. It's an incredible problem in my life. Because really do not like reading. Do not get getmicrofamous.com. Do not go there and get the free download. Do not get the actual book. I mean, Matt may or may not pay for your shipping, but he probably won't. But I mean, it's a horrible book. It's a horrible book. I mean, there's no good value in it, except if you want to get smarter. Yeah, only idiots read it. That's why I've read it 3 times. So if you guys want to really seriously get that book, go to getmicrofamous.com. Matt will give you a little signature. He'll walk your car with rock. Come over on Saturdays and pet a cat because he loves cats. It's a phenomenal opportunity to go face to Matt anywhere in the country, and he will pay for his own airfare. You guys go ahead, and if you want to fly to Maine, he will do it for you. So that's how we're going to do this. Matt's shaking his head at me like, you son of a biscuit cake. Okay, so Eric, we got your color. Your color is going to be orange because we have to put a bow in the show. So what's your color on the bow in the show?
I'm looking at a different color rainbow here. There's orange in it, and there's also pink. Let's go with pink.
Pink?
Yeah.
All right. Matt, are you going to go with a manly color, or are you going to go with pink?
I got to go with blue. I don't know. If you're going to make me pick a color to go with orange, yeah, that's an odd combination.
Yeah, not a bad.
That is
All
a
right.
weird.
There is
color.
blue in
Listen,
it too. Look.
Blue bow that we're wrapping around this episode. All right,
Yeah,
let's tie it up. Tie it up into a
Yeah.
bow. A little
We're gonna
present of
tie
an
it up
episode.
really.
All right, let's do
Tie
it.
it up really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and listening to the episode right now, guys. If you like anything and everything that Eric said, please go out there and give him a hashtag in the comments. Give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review, so the algorithm can go out there and help more real estate agents. Follow Gene, follow Matt, follow Eric, follow myself. We love you guys beyond words. We cannot do this without you. And until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.